Let's take a look at some of the improvements Luminar can bring when working with the portrait. Let's go ahead here and open up a picture. It might appear upside down initially because of the DNG preview, but once the raw file is decoded, you'll see that it displays correctly. Now in this case, we can start with templates, and Luminar AI is going to analyze the image and make some suggestions if you want to jumpstart. For example, the Fashionista preview does color correction and a bunch of skin enhancements all at once. And if we take a look at that, I'll choose Edit. You can see a lot of changes were applied. But I'm going to reset this all the way back to the top so you can see these individual tools. All right, let's start things off and go to the skin technology. We'll talk about face a little later, and I'll press Command+ to zoom in. Notice on the skin here, we have some blemishes. So the amount slider is designed to smooth over the skin with a technique that's similar to frequency separation. This allows you to blend the skin, and you can see that some of the ruddiness, as well as the unwanted areas where there's speckling, are smoothed over. But the core texture here is still preserved. You can still see some of those fine hairs there on his lip. You can still see the shadows of the nose. Shine removal is also useful in hot spots. So if we take a look here at his forehead, shine removal is just going to help tone that down a little bit. This image isn't too bad on the shine front. Additionally, the skin defects removal can look at the skin and find unwanted defects. So if we turn that on and off, you see what a great job it did of finding most of the acne and turning it off. But if you have an area like a mole that it thinks you want to keep, you can still choose to manually get rid of that. Just go under Essentials and choose Erase. Now what you could do is brush over any areas that you decide you also don't want. Then, with one click, it will look at the surrounding texture and come up with new texture. In this case, it's going to remove those moles and take that back. So the Skin AI generally will leave things in like beauty marks, but goes after acne, and it'll go after things like scratches or minor cuts. But if there is a beauty mark or something you need to manually remove, you can use the Erase tool to do that. And you can see what a nice change that made, particularly if we zoom in here. Look at what a great job it did on cleaning up that skin. Let's go to the next image here. And we'll use that same technology under Portrait. And with Skin AI, let's go ahead and take up the amount. You can see how some of that texture is smoothed over, particularly looking at some of the bridge of the nose there. And we can do a little bit of shine removal. Let's turn on the skin defects removal as well. And if we look at that, you can see that it really did a nice job there of picking up on some of those defects. Now, this is a little tricky here on the nose with the shadow. So if you decide that it was too aggressive, that's okay. Or you can go in and gently use a tool like Erase to brush that area back in. So if you like where it fixed the eyebrow area there and that little blemish there, but not there, you are free to gently paint in to bring back areas. So now if we look at our subject and the before and after, you'll see a nice improvement, particularly if we zoom in here and we have a little bit of a larger face. Notice how we've just smoothed over even the makeup to get a better look. And remember, if there's an area you don't want, or like in this case, there's a little crack in the makeup, this is where you can do touch up with the Erase tool. It is going to look at the surrounding pixels and generate new ones. And so it uses AI technology to match the surrounding areas and generate new pixels. This is very useful when you have a distinct blemish that needs to be removed. There we go. And you can see how it generated new skin texture there that naturally blends in. So a great way to retouch the skin to preserve the beauty that you're trying to bring out in your pictures. And you don't have to worry about being too aggressive with it. It tends to have a very natural look and preserves all the core skin texture.